Okay, so this is what the worksheet will look like once you're completely done with it. If you notice, it's colored really nice and neat. Everything is filled in. And again, it is done here with the monochromatic at the bottom, where the monochromatic is like a value scale where it goes from dark to light. You can also do it light to dark, it doesn't matter as long as it's filled in. Alright, so that is the front of the worksheet. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the back of the worksheet. So let me put this aside and let's go ahead and look at the back of the worksheet. Okay, so the back of the worksheet, this one is going to be more of a homework assignment, which is going to be worth 25 points. At the very top, again, you're going to notice that there's a place for you to put the name, your name. Alright, so again, we're going to put our name, first and last name. And day is for your period number. So you're going to put your period number. And your A or B day, okay? And then the due date you're going to fill in, and I will give you that information in class. Alright, so basically what you're going to do here is you're going to do a value scale, just like we did on the other side of the worksheet with the monochromatic area. So this one is broken down though into little squares. Okay, so you're going to start off with light and you're going to go to dark on each of these. Alright, but you're going to follow what it says here for the medium. Again, a medium is what you're going to use for what it's asking for like pencil, colored pencil, marker, paint, charcoal, whatever it may be. So for here, we're using pencil for this section here. For this section in the middle, it's going to be colored pencil, and for over here, it's going to be colored pencil with the another colored pencil overlapping that first colored pencil. So we're going to start off over here with colored pencil, with pencil. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and give you an example of what I'm looking for. Alright, so with this value scale, you're going to try and use your pencil first of all, where you have your pencil in your hand and you hold your pencil in your fist. You're going to put your pointer on top of the pencil like this. So you're holding your pencil like this from the side, alright? So if you put your pencil down to the paper, you can hold it like this so that you have more control over the tip. Alright, so your pointer should be close to it, close to the tip, and then when you put the pencil down, you'll get a nice shade. Alright, because a lot of times we try and shade with our pencils as if we're writing, and then we get a lot of scratchy marks, and that's not what we want. Okay, so we're going to do our best to use our pencil like this. Okay, and if you need to, practice in your sketchbooks first. Okay, so for each box we're going to try to get a little bit darker until we get our darkest value over here. So the entire box should have the same value in it. Okay. I'm not going to try and color in the entire box. Don't have to be that neat about this one. Okay. So just trying to get my value a little bit darker than the one before it. And I can always go back if I need to and add more. How am I making this darker? I'm making it darker by adding more pressure to my pencil. Remember, it's always easier to add than to try and take away. It is possible to take away. But it's been my experience with junior high that once they get a lot of dark marks on their paper, it's a lot harder to take those away. Okay, so that's our first one. Now, looking at this, I think it's kind of gradual up here. They're almost looking the same, especially in these two boxes. So if I really was going to be handing this in, I would want to change this first and make it a little bit more aggressive in my value changes. So in order to do that, I would have to bump this one up and make it a little bit darker. Therefore, if I'm making this one darker, I would have to then make this next box and this one a little bit darker. Okay, so I'm going to make this one a little bit darker. And then this one. Okay. Now that we've done this value scale, I'm going to go ahead and start with my cube. And the idea here with the cube is to do a light source. And the reason why we're doing this is because on our actual project, you're going to have to do a light source shining on your still life. So we're practicing showing different light sources and how that would affect the object. So if you look at your cube and these other two forms, there's an arrow by each of them. This arrow here on the cube is coming from the bottom and it's going upwards. Alright, so that means that your light source is coming from the bottom and it's going up. Alright, and so we want to show that the light is coming from down here and it's coming up, and that's where the strongest point of the light is going to be hitting that cube. So, having said that, we're going to go ahead and show the different areas of where the light would be hitting the cube. Alright, so this is going to be the lightest area. We're then going to make it a little bit darker up on top, but not that dark. It's going to be kind of like our 2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put some color up here. And then for this one here, this is going to be, it's kind of like it's coming here, the light's hitting. This will be a little bit darker. Like I said, this would be a bit darker, and then the back end is going to be even darker, and then of course the bottom's going to be dark. So this is probably going to be here in our mid-range, so give that some more color here. Alright. And then the front here is just going to have a little bit of color. This is going to be your one, you know, your basic, just barely any color. And if by chance an area gets too dark, for some reason it gets too dark, you can use your eraser, you know, do something like this, tap it, rub it a little bit with the eraser, something like that. I don't suggest, you know, doing this with your fingers or rubbing it, you know, because then what's going to happen, it's going to smear. Alright, so if you go ahead and erase, I would always take the paper and just kind of tap, do that. Eventually it'll go away. Alright, so that is how you're going to do each of these different forms. You're going to first do the value scale and then work on each form. Now the only difference between these two and this last one is that you're going to use colored pencil just like you did for this one. However, with this last one you're going to do an overlap with the second color pencil. Okay, so you'll pick maybe say like a blue, do a blue color pencil using your light source, using the different values to show the lights, mediums, and darks. But then you're going to add in another color on top of it. So like you do blue, and then maybe do a green on top of it. So you'll do like a blue-green. Alright? Now down here, what they want you to do is apply what you've learned up here using your lights, mediums, and darks, your values, and apply that down here so that you're now using that to make your pictures pop, make them more interesting instead of just coloring with flat color. So for instance, okay, looking at this first one, you can take something like this part of the bottle and you can color, and I'm just using my pencil this way right now just to get this little area here. And then I'll switch back to the other way of holding it. Okay, but you can pick where you want to make things dark, alright, and light, but make it dark and then you can transition and start making it light. Alright, like that. So when you get done, your worksheet is going to look more like this. Okay? So finished product is going to look something similar to this. Now, what I did here for the colored pencil part was I just used one color. You could use all different colors if you wanted to. Like you can make the pencil all red if you wanted to. You could use blue on here. You could use red. You can use purple. You could use green. You can use any colors you wanted in here as long as you just played with values. All right. Now with the colored pencil overlap, I would say just stick to 2 colors. Okay. Stick to 2 colors for the entire thing. Alright, just to make it easy on you. Okay, but this is your value color worksheet. Alright, that's it.